Starting in position number 1, it'll be car number 10 for this young driver, the A-Crane Construction Company number 10. Out of Granby, Mass, it is Heather DesRochers.
Perched next to him is car number 38 in the Manifour Brothers Cavalier. From Plainville, it's George Nacera Jr.
Herbalife in Tallinn, Napa brings us car number 28. It'll be starting in the third starting spot from Tallinn, Connecticut for Rich Hammond.
Car number 32 will be next in the Gearhart Insurance car. From Farmington, here is Chris Buckeye.
Then it's car number 08 out of Vernon, Connecticut, the Allegro Racing Enterprises Chevrolet Cavalier for Joey Allegro Jr.
Next door, car number 16 in the Task Country Homes Cavalier. From Lebanon, here is Josh Sylvester.
Green Motorsports brings us car number 17 from the 7th starting spot from Wilbraham, Mass. It is Glen Reen.
The younger brother in the Buckeye Brigade will start 6th in car number 52. The home selling team brings us Mark Buckeye.
In the 9th starting spot, it is car number 09, the Grassetti Brothers racing car from Munson, Massachusetts, Raymond Grassetti.
A one-time winner will be next aboard car number 23. Quality Machine Solutions brings us a Cavalier driven by Alan Provost.
He runs up front in the point parade with car number 29. The Summersville Auto Sales 1-800 Radiator of Connecticut car from Stafford Springs. It's the 29 of Chris Matthews.
This driver captured his 3rd win of the season a week ago in car number 70. Citrix Systems brings us a Grand Prix chauffeured by Britt Anderson.
Lucky starting position number 13 goes to a Vernon driver, the Fredericks Auto Works number 60 for Glenn Griswold.
Stationed next to him in car number 7 from Stafford in the Goff Hardy Cliff Nelson Motorsports Cavalier. Let's meet the Magic Maker, Aaron Goff.
15th starting spot, the Webb Racing, number 9, out of New Milford, Connecticut for David Webb.
Then it's Tony Santangelo in the 11, Harry Wheeler in the 54, Scott Norman in the 90 as we're up to full speed.
We're racing down into turn number 1, and as they come off the turn and down the back straightaway, the young lady beats the drum the hardest, and it's Heather DesRochers to lead them. Down to the bottom of turn number 4, DesRochers still in command as she brings them back to the line.
Second dominated by Nacera in car number 38. Then we have a double file scrap for 3rd. Rich Hammond on the inside is moved away in car number 28. And now trying to move his way up to the front is Glen Reen. He is in the upper contingent of cars.
Reen hunted down by Josh Sylvester. They worked all week to put that car back together. For today's presentation is car number 32. Buckeye is also coming to the front of the field with a vengeance. Good racing wherever you look among the top 15. 2 laps up on the board, and it's the lady who is the class of the field here. She leads them back off turn number 4 with car number 10.
Heather DesRochers widens her lead over Nacera. A guy to keep your eye on is Chris
Trouble
Matthews.
now, Matt. We've got a car around at the bottom of turn number 2. We're not sure what car it is. We believe it's the 54 of Harry Wheeler. So Wheeler will bring out the first caution. 2 laps into the record books is car number 10. Heather DesRochers out of Granby, Mass. has led the first 3 circuits in the competition here. It's currently setting in second on the restart will be George Nacera out of Plainville, Connecticut, with car number 38. And then your 3rd place car, as they come off turn number 4, will be the number 28 machine. And that, of course, is the 28 car for Rich Hammond. And already up to the 4th spot, car number 17 for Glen Reen. And in the 5th position, we believe it's the number 08 car for Joey Allegro. And outside is Josh Sylvester with the number 16 car. You remember last week there was a hard wreck off turn number 4, destroying the number 16 car. They worked all week long to get that car back and ready for the competition. We'll see if it pays off. The Wheel and Pace car dives to the center of the infield, the Super Cop machine, as we're about to fire them back up, Matt, off turn number 4.
And once again, Heather looks formidable. Little 3-wide scenario. Hammond now backs out of it, and Heather DesRochers has planted herself back into the lead.
This young lady just doesn't know the meaning of anything but run up front and run away and hide. Meanwhile, it is Reen who pulls in, challenges Nacera, battle for second, 2 white cars. Red trimmed as they come back to the line. Here's Josh Sylvester tucking it out of line. He'll move in among the top 5.
But Glen Reen, who has more SK Light wins than anybody, has slight cloned his way into the number 2 position. Chris Matthews on the outside of Raymond Grissetti. That's a car to keep your eyes peeled on, the silver number 29.
She comes out of the turn a little bit wide and leaves the inside lane open. That was all that Reen needed as he works some magic of his own to the bottom. It is Reen who takes over the lead 5 laps into this 20-lap feature event, and a brand new leader emerges. The man of the house becomes Glen Reen off turn number 4.
Looking for his 5th win of the year. Trying to corral him a little deeper in the field. We see the Buckeye brothers running in the creamsicle-colored cars. They are currently 7th and 8th, and right behind them is Chris Matthews, our point leader. Let's see what Matthews can do against Mark Buckeye as he climbs to the outside.
Well, all that's been happening. Look back among the top 4, and Josh Sylvester has just moved into position number 4. With him comes Joey Allegro with car number 08. Good battle there, and the Buckeye boys are also heading back to the front of the field. Matthews creating magic of his own. He usually comes on strong in the second half, Matt, and that's exactly what it looks like is going to happen here.
Now, Joey Allegro in car number 08 trying to fight off Mark Buckeye. He has raced for the last 7 years in go-karts. Joey will be a senior starting later this month at Cheney Tech High School in Manchester, and right now he is having a solid 6th place run. Matthews climbing on the outside of Glenn Griswold.
Glenn Griswold tries to keep the car nice and low, and Britt Anderson, who's been to victory lane already this season, trying to run to the inside of Matthews. Dogfight battle there as they head down the back straightaway. It is still a great battle among 3 cars, but up front, Reen is the star of the show as he brings them back to the line. Halfway down and halfway to go.
But a good battle between 2 of the men up in the point standings, Anderson and Matthews. That is a battle deep in the field, and a battle that is prevailed upon by Anderson as he is leading by a mustache over Chris Matthews.
Britt Anderson dives down low to the inside. Griswold is right there, just in front of him. Then it's Mark Buckeye, and along with Allegro, there's the magic of 5. Some of the strong cars now emerging among the top 10 position. Leader of the pack still remains out in front. It is car number 17, and that is Reen. As DesRochers, she still runs in second. Here's Josh Sylvester tucking out of line, moves to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll challenge George Nasura off the second turn, down the back straightaway. Josh Sylvester digs in, and he'll take over position number 3.
Now we know Josh has a pretty strong right foot because of his experience on a soccer field, and right now he used that power to get 3rd away from the 38 of DesRochers, but they might need a lasso to catch Glen Reen in car number 17, who is in his own congressional district at the front of the field.
Say that 3 times fast.
I couldn't say it once.
As they come back to the line, it is car number 10 for Heather DesRochers, still running in second. Josh Sylvester still setting in the 3rd spot. 4th is Nasura, and rounding out the top 5 and trying to move in is the 28 car that Richie Hammond pulled on a line. Here comes Buckeye again, Matt. Off the turn, Glenn Griswold is there. So isn't Britt Anderson. 3 wide, they come back to the line.
So Allegro gets trapped on the outside. Mark Buckeye got around him, so does Griswold. And now Britt Anderson seals the deal along with Chris Matthews. So one little bobble to the outside by Allegro, and it costs him 4 positions.
There's less than 5 laps remaining in the competition here. Meanwhile, further back in the field, Griswold literally bump drafting down the front straightaway. Britt Anderson gives him a little smooch, and right there with him is Matthews. But in a zone all of his own, it's Glen Reen dominant. We've got trouble in turn 2.
That is a caution that Glen Reen did not want to see.
So 2 cars involved in the altercation in turn 2, 16 laps into this SK Light feature event of competition. Leader of the event is still car number 17, and that, of course, is Glen Reen out of Wilbraham in the Reen Motorsports Special. Great run tonight by Heather DesRochers, led the early laps of the event. The A-Crane Construction Company car currently setting in second, and Josh Sylvester, hard work all week long has paid off. He is currently running in position number 3 in the TAS Country Homes Sylvester Construction sponsored race car. So work continues. 2 cars with a spin, and that spin is not what Reen was looking for, Matt.
No, he was looking to go green the rest of the way and get his 5th win of the year. Now, if you happen to get your hands on a copy of the August 9th edition of the Wilbraham-Hamden Times. A great article on Glen Reen written by Chris Miracle of the sports staff. And it concentrates on how he got started in racing and what he's doing now and his work with in North Carolina, with in racing down there with his race team. So a very interesting article. Get your hands on a copy. All about Glen Reen, as tonight he goes for his 5th win. And Dean, could be a little history in the making, is Heather DesRochers. Her best finish prior to tonight was 7th. So she has a chance to get a podium finish tonight for the first time this year.
And if she were able to take the top prize, it would be the 3rd time a lady has won on the half mile here at Stafford Motor Speedway. Ben, I know you know Mac. Mac is celebrating his 80th birthday this evening, and everybody from Team Stafford, and especially Mary, Glenn, Lee, all his friends and buddies want to wish Mac a happy 80th birthday today.
Yes, 80 years young, and he is a great guy. So happy birthday from all of us here at Team Stafford as well. Well, Kyler Caffrow's number 42 car down in the center of the infield. It was one of the cars that was involved in that jingle. The other car was the 11, which was able to get away under his own power for Tony Santangelo. The field under single file. We should point out, Matt, also that the rules and regulations for this class, because they're trying to develop the skills of the drivers and the teams, they do not allow the competitors to have infield pitting, nor are they allowed to go into the paddock area themselves. So if they are involved in a little minor jingle, and even it might be something very minimal, they cannot make those adjustments and come back out. Once their car is on pit road, after being involved in an altercation, that kind of closes out the night or the chapter in that book.
It stays on pit road. As we're down to the final 4 laps in this one, and it should be quite an entertaining restart between Glen Reen on the outside and Heather DesRochers, as she is trying for her first podium finish ever. And I was talking to her crew before the races, and they were pretty confident that they had a good package working for them tonight, and they only have 4 laps left in which to open it.
They sure do, and that package is already starting to bust at the seams as they head off turn number 4. Back to the line they come. Battle of the sexes. You've seen it on TV, now see it live as they head down into turn number 1, and they parked next to each other in the paddock area. But Reen is proving that he is a racer and not a gentleman, so he darts out in front and pulls away down the back straightaway. Heather DesRochers still running in second. Josh Sylvester waiting in the wings. But look a little further back, Matt. That's where the heavy hitters are coming from.
And right now, Buckeye makes a bold move to the bottom against George Nacera. So that's Mark Buckeye trying to blister his way underneath the 38. Couldn't complete the move. Here comes Britt Anderson making a dive bomb move in car number 70.
Anderson dives to the bottom, almost there. One wheel down to the inside of Buckeye. Buckeye comes across a little bit squirmy as they come back to the line. 2 laps to go. 1 mile left in the competition here. Reen's got the field covered as they head down into turn number 3. The other Buckeye car is pulled out, Matt.
That's Chris on pit road, and in the lead, white flag lap, Glen Reen. Right now that car is like a luxury liner. Turn 4, everybody scrambles around. Goff is involved, Michael Lane involved in car number 20.
Down the back straight away, the caution is now out, and that is not what Reen wanted to see, as Willie Hardy's teammate, Aaron Goff, again struggles with misfortune off turn number 4. They'll get that car fired back up and will conclude. And it's going to be one of those finishes, Matt.
Ben, the 3 most exciting words in motorsports: green, white, checker. And maybe Heather has one good restart left in her to kind of rattle the cage of Glen Reen. We'll see what transpires.
Joey Allegro is down on pit road with car number 08, so heartbreaker there. He was running right up front in that dogfight battle among the top cars in the competition here. So Glen Reen will be the guy to watch in the front row with Heather DesRochers. Josh Sylvester turning in a good run, and the 38 of George Nacera making up row number 2. Britt Anderson, the 70 car, he started back in 12th, Matt, and has moved among the top 5 cars. And Glenn Griswold with the number 60 car, already a feature event winner this season. He, too, has come from a 13 starting spot. So these guys have already starting to show their skills and their talent at coming through traffic. If you've just joined us, good evening and welcome to the New England Dodge Dealers Saturday night edition of the Wheel and Modify Tour. We appreciate all of you coming out in full force for this one. You won't be disappointed, will they, Dean, for a great night of racing?
We have this race, 4 more from our Stafford troop, and then the 150 lap 17th annual New England Dodge Dealers NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour event. And that's going to be a good one. We have a couple of old pros up front and a couple of young lions coming up behind them. On the redraw, we'll get that starting lineup for you a bit later on, and we're going to have quite the event here tonight at Stafford Motor Speedway. The lights are off on the pace car. That means green flag is just a second or two away. Back over to Ben and Matt.
Well, they come off turn number 4. They're looking for the start. Chris Gambado gives them the green. They are wheel to wheel, and it's Heather DesRochers with the advantage down into turn 1.
Boy, like a champagne cork popping out of the bottle, but now here comes Reen. He gets his adrenaline back, and Reen recaptures the lead.
Josh Sylvester waiting in the wings for the curtain call. Behind him is Britt Anderson. Nasara, white flag is out, 1 lap to go.
Good battle between Nasara and Anderson for 4th. Glenn Griswold also involved in car number 60. But right now, Glen Reen is on easy street.
Reen leads him down into turn number 3. Heather DesRochers looking for her best career victory if she can hold on with a good second place run. Reen has got it at the line.
5th win of the year for Reen, and Heather gets some treasure as she finishes in 2nd with Josh Sylvester in 3rd, and Brett Anderson was able to get by George Nasara at the finish line to nail down a 4th place run. And you see Anderson, the first to congratulate Glen Reen on his victory.
And they'll be heading to the winner's circle where they are very familiar sights, as Glen Reen has done it again here at Stafford, but hats off for the young female driver who finishes in the runner-up spots. She does an outstanding job. Heather DesRochers is showing just a sample of what we can expect out of this young lady. And a great run for Josh Sylvester to finish among the top 3. The comeback kid has done it, as they'll be heading to CarQuest Victory Lane, where Roland Bolduc and Tony Sutton is down there to meet and greet the very popular Glen Reen. He's got some goodies he's going to hand out a little bit later. You can bank on that. But right now, bank on Reen in CarQuest Victory Lane.
And Ben, before we go down to Tony and Roland, I do want to remind our race fans that the autograph session with the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour drivers is getting underway as we speak. They're located on the far end of the upper midway near the Speedway offices. You don't have to tell you about where they are. There's a whole herd of folk out there now. So join and get an autograph from the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour drivers. They're all there, and they'll sign an autograph for you. Right now, Tony Sutton, CarQuest, Victory Lane. TS?
Well, Glenn's out of the car. A little Village Spring water to replace that which lost in the race. You basically put on a clinic.
Man, I'll tell you, it was awesome. I mean, last week we had a mishap, and it's great to be back on top. I got to thank the Lord and Savior for giving me the opportunity to come back, and my crew. Man, I got a lot of people to thank tonight. I got to thank Chassis Dynamics for giving us a helping hand. I got to thank Fat Boys, Hooker Harness, Reen Orthodontics, Reen Motorsports. I know there's a lot of people I got to thank. I got to thank Todd, Mike, Woody, Fuller, just a whole bunch of people. Andy Crane, I mean, everybody. It's awesome.
Congratulations on your win.
Thank you very much.
Well, move down here to a young lady that has been working real hard, and 2nd place, a podium finish. Congratulations, Heather.
Thank you. The car was awesome today. We had motor issues before, but it turned out well in the end, but I couldn't do it without my parents, of course, and the help of Martino and Jeff Burrell in the beginning of the year. And, of course, my sponsors, Frasco Fuel Oil, A-Crane Construction, and Manny's TV and Appliance. And, of course, Don DesRochers Excavating.
Well, there isn't too many excited people here, I can tell you that. Just look at this crowd here. We're going to let you go celebrate. Congratulations on 2nd place, Heather.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Sean, you did really well out there, but you just couldn't seem to get the momentum up on the restarts.
I don't know. I mean, maybe that was my bad, but I was just happy to be here tonight. We wrecked really bad last week, and I'm just so proud we made it here. I mean, the guys did an unbelievable job. can't say enough about them. And my sponsors, Sylvester Construction, TAS Country Homes, Stanford Plumbing, Perry Lathrop Collision Center, Rose Springs Water, and Start Finish Productions.
Congratulations on third place.
Thanks a lot.